Hello, it is I, Dr. Brian Lorgon 111, and welcome back to Void Stranger. Last time, the end portion of the video, I was trying to manipulate justice values in order to find strange creatures, and today I am trying to manipulate justice values in order to find that strange conversations that we had not previously seen. So, a long time ago, a long time ago, I saw one of these on Basement 54, and there was a conversation between two people dressed in white. No one is perfect without me, what am I? What will this one say? Also, am I dead after this? I'm not sure. You gaze into the strange light. You can barely make out two figures clad in white. They're talking about something. So that part is exactly the same as far as I can recall. And they don't have beeps and boops when they talk. I'll give you another hint. I've got nothing to offer, yet I make others look plentiful. What am I? I have nothing to offer, yet I make others look plentiful. And it sounds like Judge Zero's voice, and so I'm trying to think of Zero. No, nothing is perfect without me. Zero, because you can't write 100% or something without a zero. I wonder if the answer to the puzzle is zero. And I wonder if there'll be two more clues like that, because I think there's like two more of these strange conversation bubbles. And who would Zero be talking to? I wonder. That I'm not sure. And I'm kind of like jumping ahead. Let's go ahead and try to locate the other strange conversations. I have to do more justice value manipulation, so wish me luck, and I will see you in a bit. Well, this was not originally on my agenda, but I have something I want to try. So, pause screen is still gray here. It occurs to me, if I can get this person to push me off while I have the wings, they won't actually push me off. And so maybe that's like a key to this particular NPC. Young girl sits on the floor. As your eyes meet, she winces. What are you looking at? And so there she is. We've seen that before. You one of those creeps? You're not gonna hurt her. I'm not afraid of you. Leave me alone. She pouts, ignoring you. Sneakily gazes up, but averts her eyes soon after. You tell yourself you're not going to hurt her. Okay. So suppose... I don't have the sword. There are a few ways to kill these guys. I'm going to use a different way than I have used before. On camera, to the best of my memory. Which is if I hang out over here, these guys can crash into each other like that. You tell yourself you're not going to hurt her. Okay, but she's not trying to push me off right now. So what happens... if I do this and you're the last thing in the room? When does she actually try to push me? I'm not sure if I... If I reset the room and do it differently... Is she still going to be there? She's not even going to be there anymore. Okay. I didn't kill enemies before talking to her. I think if you do kill enemies before talking to her, it might be different. So I'll have to remember to try that next time. So many things to try in this game. I'm here again. Suppose instead I kill all the enemies first. This time I have my sword. And then go talk to this NPC? Does the conversation go differently? Is it only Lily that she tries to push off? Or is there some other condition? Because she does appear in Lily's stages as well. Huh. Alright, unfortunately this is gonna hurt my justice score. Okay, another glowing ball of light. Here on basement 168. What do you say? You gaze into the strange light. You can barely make out two figures clad in white. Alright, this is exactly the same start. I'll give you another hint. I can't be shared, yet I'm never ending. What am I? And it disappears. Alright, Aha! Side diversion. I've seen in other playthroughs that when people came at the beginning as Gray down Mon's tunnels, there was an NPC here. I never saw this NPC, but now I am seeing them. Who are you? You look kind of like Sif's friend, actually. You are? Okay, this is interesting. Excuse me. Sorry, I mistook you for someone else. Have you seen my sister? She has short hair, and her eyes are the same color as yours. Which would be dark eyes. Gray has dark eyes. She can be a bit shy, so she's probably hiding somewhere. Are you looking for someone as well? Sorry, I haven't met other people here except you. This place is pretty strange. It almost feels like I've been circling this halls for days. I think we're both royally lost. Hey, I'm sure you'll find the one you're searching. Don't give up. If I go to the pause menu, which I do via this key. Okay, so that's what she looks like on the pause menu. Just kind of do-do-do-do-do. I'm walking around. Okay. Don't give up. Don't give up. All right. And if I push you... Sorry, am I in your way? Don't give up. Interesting. And... Sif described it as a memory he was seeing. Gray is actually seeing this NPC. Like, at this moment in time, I think. What does it mean? I'll have to review and think about things a bit more. Alright. Well, I have finally seen that person. So that is great. Also, I think I'm coming up on... I went in 193. I exit on 196. I think I'm coming up on possibly the next speech bubble thing I'm looking for. Yeah, so hopefully that will be coming up shortly. Aha! On 199, a few screens later, I have manipulated my justice value high enough to get here. I can just kind of build my way up there, sure. We'll just be careful about how we do it. That'll work. Okay. Are you going to give me another riddle that's about the number 0? You gaze into the strange light. You can barely make out two figures clad in white. They're talking about something. I'll give you another hint. I'm nothing, yet I'm the greatest of them all. What am I? Feels like just more 0 stuff. It's been a whole lot of work to get these conversations on screen, and it's feeling somewhat disappointing, the outcomes, but here we are. And there is the quote-unquote final ball of light. There was supposed to be one on basement 114 that I could never manage to make appear. But I'm choosing to live without it at this point. But let's read this one. You gaze into the strange light. You can barely make out two figures clad in white. They're talking about something. I'll give you another hint. Without me, one is meaningless. What am I? So yeah, it seems to just be Judge Zero giving hints about 0 as like a silly word puzzle. He's talking to someone else. Sif is kind of my first guess at this point, but I'm really not sure. But at this point, I think I'm finally finished with manipulating justice values, which is good because it's so tedious. Alright, moving on. So one thing I've been meaning to test is whether or not in my most advanced save file I've actually gotten this secret. I had not, and so that's the reason why it didn't appear in the credits. It's not that that one was special or different. It's that that white vanilla flower had just not been saved, probably because I've been reloading a bunch of different saves in the past of exploring this game, and so hopefully that'll get us our 6th quote-unquote fruit in the credits. So that's good. So I'm going to keep advancing with this save. Something I'm curious about, I've already killed Gore. Is it still the case that this would be a secret zone? Yes. Interesting, this is still here. What will be down here? Will the boss still be down here? Also, I guess there's no way for me to get into the HUD by killing these lazy hands right now. Oh! It just advanced me to 146. I was supposed to fall in between the hands, that's right. Well, that's probably for the best. The zone seems to exist, and, well, I'm kind of curious what would be down there now. I might revisit that at some point in the future. It is for Brian in real life after Christmas at this point, by the way. Over Christmas break, I wasn't able to play the game, but I spent a bit of time thinking about the game, and I had a number of weird ideas. I thought that the first time I ever came to Basement 000 was with Sif, and this was just like an empty room, and there was nothing here. But then for some reason I was thinking, when you get the rod, I was wondering if there was a way for Sif to get the upgraded rod. And I thought that Sif saw nothing down here. So there's stuff that I want to see with Lily in the ending now that I picked up the white vanilla flower and something else that I did along the way. So I want to go back to this kind of like good ending sequence, but I left a save here without taking the rod out of the chest, because I also wonder if I leave the rod in the chest and then have Lily go to the normal ending where she just saves her mother and then continue on immediately to Sif and come down here. Like, what would happen in that circumstance? And I'm really curious to know, and I'm just not sure, and so I want to check that out. So why? Why didn't you tell me anything? If you resented me that much, you should have just ditched me when I was little. You would have saved us both the trouble. Just say something, you old hag. Don't act like after all these years, you don't have anything to say for yourself. I thought you're better than this. You're the strongest person I've ever known. Not some loser who drops dead without any warning. Did I look up to you my entire life for nothing? Or do you really think I came... And so I think that's a slightly different ending than I've seen before. I decided, after picking up the upgraded rod, just to go ahead and play out the Lily ending and go see what Sif sees. And then I'm going to leave the rod in the chest and then do the same thing, assuming that either of these are interesting. Otherwise, you may never see this footage. And I'm also curious, now that I have all of the memory shards, as well as all 6 fruits, I don't know that there's only an all 6, if I might have devotion here. Making it this far should be commendable, but this cannot detect a strong devotion with you. I'm not sure if it's possible to change this in Lily's campaign, or if this is always the ending here. But I was curious about that. The other thing I was thinking about is possibly, like, if you save all the NPCs, which I didn't do in this particular playthrough that I'm doing with this Lily run right now. And then I've been thinking about the screen cracks. I guess they happen at 3 moments. This moment, when Lily wishes that her mother is at peace. The Dr. Lily ending, when the onions break through. And in the gray near the ending where the Void Lords take Princess Lily away. And she says, wait, I have something to tell you, or whatever. And I'm trying to rationalize it a bit more. There's been a bit of thinking that I've been doing about the lore, and I've been starting to talk to various folks I know who have played the game to kind of bounce some ideas. And actually, yeah, maybe I'll do some more lore talk shortly. But in any case, let me skip ahead to Sif, because I just want to try out some stuff. It only just occurred to me, doing this exercise now, it's difficult for Sif to get to basement 000, because Sif now has one locust idol. Previously, the locust idols didn't even show up at all, so there were no extra digits. Void, Sif is always void. So in order to get a 0 in the HUD, I have to get this one locust idol down to 0 locust idols. Which means... there's a number of ways I can do that. I was thinking that that was going to be more difficult than it actually is, because I forgot about B's statue. I was thinking I was going to have to feed the locust idol to a hungry what do you call dude, but I could always just give away the locust idol, because dying isn't going to spend a locust idol since I'm void. But I could give away... Actually, hold on. What happens if I do this? Does that bring it to 0? It does. Okay. Okay, this is not as difficult as I thought it was going to be then. Alright, then I can just do this. Fantastic. And so I thought when Sif was here before, I really thought the first time I was ever here, there was just nothing in this room. So it was the same shape, but the chest wasn't there, the statues weren't there, there was just nothing there. I glanced back through my footage and I never found it. It's empty. But yeah, now so this really has me wonder if with Lily I had not taken the rod out of the chest, played through the end of Lily's campaign again, went immediately into Sif's, and did this again, would the rod still be here, and would Sif be able to get it, and would Sif be able to go to Dis? Yeah, I have to know, so I have to try that. Well, this time in this ending, it looks like I'm getting more text. It wasn't easy. Do you even realize why I came back? Please, answer me. I'm sorry for being such a hot-headed mess. I shouldn't have talked to you like that back then. Interesting. So this was basically the same thing, but I left the Dis rod in the chest and then played through to Lily's ending. And yes, every time I play through to Lily's ending, it means I have to solve at least one of the jigsaw puzzles. It's not as bad when you have the wings, but I still don't enjoy it. Alright. So there's apparently lots of different variations of Lily's speech to Gray in the end, depending upon various circumstances that I still don't quite understand. Also now that I know that there's like a justice morality score, it might be related to that as well, I'm not sure. But in any case, I want to see now that the rod, the upgraded rod, is still in the chest, if Sif can go get it. And yeah, it's like 5 minutes of cutscenes to get through the ending of Lily and then the beginning of Sif. The things I do, just because I'm curious about something that may or may not matter. But this game has been continually rewarding curiosity in weird ways. And so it's just good to look at everything. I don't remember if I mentioned this, I saw an interview with the developers. That was an interview about Zero Ranger, but it was after Void Stranger had been released, and so they talked about Void Stranger a little. And they talked about a design philosophy of whenever having to, like, choose between doing two things or something, like, always choose the more interesting one. And I feel like I can see that in this game. It's like, you could have, you know, some ending just repeat or be the same way or something, be repetitive or not interesting or whatever, and they're always like, let's just throw in some new wrinkle, so if someone tries something a different way, they get to see something new. And yeah, that just kind of like permeates this game everywhere, it feels like. Is this the right way to do this? Not really, but it'll work. In any case, Lily, in the previous ending, left the rod behind. And so now I want to see if I do this and have Sif go back to basement 000, will the chest be there and can Sif pick up the upgraded scepter? The chest is empty again. Huh. It's empty. It shouldn't be, right? And this is... something isn't right. DisOS error report. Alert, 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 alert. You can tell when I'm playing this after Christmas. Core system stability at risk, commenting, admin, defense report, something, something, something. Oh, what is this? Is that Lev? Whoa. This is where you fight Sif. I recognize the arena. Lev? And Sif just gets called back here. You're alive. Right. And Sif doesn't know that Lev's the traitor. If... okay, so if Gray or Lily, in this case I did it with Lily, but presumably it'd be the same with Gray, kills all the traitors, which unlocks the place that the upgraded scepter is in, that chest, but then doesn't take it and gets to the end, then we move forward in this timeline. Lev discovers that the chest is unguarded, I guess, or maybe he had, like, talked to Mon about it beforehand and has Mon bring him the Locust Idols, I keep calling them him, to resurrect Lev. Lev gets the scepter, and now what? You're alive. Okay, but that's where I think we are in this branch of the story. And that staff you're carrying. Dots. And Sif is off the grid here, too. For some reason, seeing that condescending stare of yours once again makes me feel relieved. Although you only trusted Ad, you'll always be a dear big sister to me. Sif was created last. All the other sisters are his elders. Lev was second to last. And it seemed like, I get the impression, like, enjoyed being the youngest, and then when Sif got created later, that's where the resentment grew from or something. And for that reason alone... oh, look at the bottom! Sif's, or no, it's Lev's stuff. I won't let you pass no matter what. Oh my gosh. Are we now getting to play as Lev to try to carry out Lev's thing and try to defeat Sif? And Lev has a different version in the HUD of the 3 different Void upgrade thingies? And do I get a pause menu? I get an end at all. Okay, so yeah, Lev has a different memory and wings. Maybe a similar sword. Oh my goodness! And this is different. Do I have any control here? No. And so, unbeknownst to any living soul... wow, this is crazy. I was not expecting this. A vicious battle began. Unbeknownst to any living soul. So are we just seeing this third-person omniscient? There's a vicious battle between Lev and Sif, in which these two wretched beings would remain eternally. Don't ask how I know. Wow. To be not continued. Wow. And so that's like an alternate bad ending to the time loop or something, and then it just resets me here. Does anything obviously change here? I don't imagine that it would. Wow. So that's akin to kind of like losing in the shoot 'em up or something. And then it seems like just like you lose everything and then the game's like haha and sends you back or something. I just want to make sure that playing this out doesn't change anything. Add scepter. Time to find B. Yeah, okay. So it seems like it just restarts me here. Okay, this is just fascinating. Okay. Unexpectedness all around. Okay, and I do start with 0 locust idols now, as opposed to both of these things being blank. Alright, well I'm really glad that took a lot of time, but I'm glad that I decided to test that theory, because that was, yeah, again, like, why would the game developers put that in there? And it's just because the option was there for you to continue the story in a different way with a different set of circumstances leading to Sif going to find B in terms of the state that the world was left in. And the developers didn't have to do anything, but what did they do? They chose the interesting option. They added more content if you explore that branch. Wow. Okay, this is amazing. I can imagine that this might be enough for an episode, so if it is, I'm going to say I hope as always that you all are having a great day, and I will see you again soon with more Void Stranger, where I still have a lot of things both that I need to test in-game as well as just kind of talk about in terms of the lore. So look forward to it. For now, bye-bye.